Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Thursday, February the 1st. Happy Groundhog Day Eve to everyone out there. And it is time for another edition, or is it an edition or an episode of Ken versus 10. I'm Ken. The 10 is my death pile that I am trying to beat down 10 listings at a time here on this show to see how many of those items that I can sell before next week. And today we are going to be doing some electronics, some vintage electronics, some stuff that's maybe not so vintage. And we will take a peek here at the chat. Good morning, Meg, the lilac seller. Good to have you here. Happy Groundhog Day Eve to you, my friend. So let's see. What do we got here? Kim T is in the house. Hey, Kim. I'm going to be doing a review here a little bit later in the show of the Cheetos brand mac and cheese. And there's Mike. What's up? Go Snow. Good morning, my friend. Good to see you here. Ping G is dropping by. Good morning, good morning. Larry way out one. Man, everybody's popping in early this morning. Man, it's a nice day out there. February the 1st. The sun is shining finally. We've had like 2 weeks straight of just gray, cloudy, dismal weather. And the sun peaked out a little bit yesterday, but it is bright and sunny out there today. Man, it certainly helps a guy's disposition too when the sun comes out. And so I'm looking in some warmer temperatures this weekend. I seem to always start the show with like a weather report. I'm not sure if you guys care what my weather is around here, but when the sun shines after a couple weeks, I like to shout it from the rooftops. I'm not really sure why. That's just kind of goofy. Supposed to rain all day today, and they weren't wrong. Must be raining out there in non-sunny California. Oh, yes. Meg, it's my kiddo's 24th birthday, so I'm happy for that son. Well, happy birthday to the mini seller, mini lilac seller. Happy birthday to you. Yes, the groundhog saw his shadow, which means 12 more months of winter in Cleveland. Roman always comes in big. February birthdays are the best, people. I assume, Kim, that your birthday is in February as well. And Jamie Shears, hello, Ken. First time catching a live, always watching now. Well, Jamie, welcome. Yes, I thought that was a new name that I hadn't seen before. Very good to have you here. Hopefully you enjoy the show. We're going to be listing some electronics today, and we're going to be doing a review of some mac and cheese that a viewer had sent to me. And going to do that. So anyway, what else? What else do I have to get started with? Maybe we'll just get right into it. Let's just get right into these listings for today. And some electronics. Oh, this one's sitting right beside me. This one is not necessarily a vintage item, but I always do well with these little handheld recorders, especially if you have a brand, the Sony ones, Panasonic. This is an Olympus Pearl Quarter S950. Got a lot of features packed into it. It does work. Little LCD screen on there. I got this from my uncle. My Uncle Bruce had given me some different electronics, and Some of them I've listed, some of the, I got a ton of electronics. As I've been going through this, kind of getting to that shelf, there is tons of electronic stuff out there. And so I'm going to kind of keep listing this stuff now that I'm kind of in that testing mode. Razilla's Realm is here. Yeah, I see Razilla a lot, like in the RIN chats and stuff like that. Good to have you here, my friend. I appreciate it. And Roman says, I have been feeling that groundhog packed his bags and left today so they don't drag him out tomorrow in this cold weather. Well, I tell you what, oh, I didn't click on the right one. That was the comment. Cheetos mac and cheese is great, but the jalapeno is the best. I'm going to be reviewing that here in a little bit. Big thanks to Jill for sending me very cool shirt. I will show it on my live on Saturday. Yeah, Jill should be here shortly. She's probably finishing up with a client. And there's my dear sweet mother watching from next door. My mom and pop always catching the show. And some good mornings. And Paul, the flippin' sports guy. Thank you, Jill. Roman will finally wear a shirt. Paul or Roman finally has some clothing to wear, something decent. Oh, and there is the aforementioned Jill. We were just talking about you, Jill. Roman got his package, and that you sent him, and he will, if you look up a couple comments, he will be showing that on his show on Saturday. Who's your guest this week, Roman? Roman said that the groundhog, they packed him up so that he doesn't come out tomorrow and see a shadow. Actually, the official groundhog for Ohio is Buckeye Chuck. They call him Buckeye Chuck. And he is right here in my town. It's probably like 2 miles from my house, 3 miles. And so they have a big ceremony every year. The local radio station is broadcasting Buckeye Chuck. All of the big TV stations from down in Columbus come up and film stuff and do a story on it. And I've only went there once. I mean, all these years, again, a couple miles away from my house. Last year I went, and if any of you were following me back then, I had done Instagram Live from over there at the proceedings for Buckeye Chuck. Oh, it was brutally cold. But I did get there a little bit late. They do have, they serve Spam sandwiches for some reason. They have, like, I think grilled Spam sandwiches over at the event. And so I missed that, but they sell t-shirts and they have the whole stuff going on. My mother says, hiya, Jill, and hiya, Nancy. Yeah, Jill's mother, Nancy, is always watching. She doesn't get in the chat, but we will say hi to Nancy. And Buckeye Chuck is currently at Goodwill Binge trying to buy warm clothing to stay warm tomorrow when they pull him out. Yeah, it was fun. I went there, like I say, I went there last year. It was a neat thing. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow too. If I get out of bed in time, because it's like really early. They got to do it before the sun comes up. So, they drag this poor little guy out, hold him up in the air and see if he sees his shadow. And I'm not sure, I forget which one it is. If he sees his shadow, is it 6 more weeks of winter, or if he doesn't? I don't know. What is that? Is it 6 more weeks if he sees it or doesn't see it? I don't know. I should have looked that up. Let's see. Yeah, Keith is smarter than Roman. Oh, Paul, I have these cards right here that I want to ask you about. I'll just show them real quick. Here's this Hank Aaron signed card with the certificate of authenticity. Here's a Ken Griffey Jr., like a rookie card, and this Derek Jeter sterling card, and they're all sealed up in these little things. So I'm going to get with you and see, maybe you can point me in a right direction about that, what I should look up or how I should look them up. I know nothing about sports cards. Uh-oh, is Jill passing along fake information about what time? I told her that it was on at 10. The show is on at 10. How do they determine if it's a sun shadow or light from the camera shadow? I don't know. I'm not sure how they do that. 6 more weeks if he sees his shadow. See, my mom's a groundhog aficionado. She knows what's going on. So we're hoping that maybe it's a little overcast tomorrow before the sun comes out, so he doesn't see his shadow. That's the most popular Griffey rookie. Oh, well, cool. Maybe there's some value there. Again, I don't, as in the most expensive. Very cool. I mean, it looks like it's pristine mint, like it was probably put in this little sealed up. It's got these little screws in the corner of this card. I can't see any like bent edge or anything like that. So I don't know like about grading, and I hear people talk about that, and I don't know anything about that. Anyway, let's see. This Olympus little recorder right here. Should probably get around $25 for that right there. And like I say, these usually move along pretty quickly anytime I list them. So we are underway. Yes. There's my friend, Lisa, the Jersey Gypsy. How are you? I haven't seen you for a while. We haven't had any correspondence. I missed the days when you and Aaron and oh, come on, Ken. What's the other gal's name? We used to have a private Instagram chat where just kind of motivate one another, let one another, cool things that were happening, or, it's been a tough week. Stuff like this. You guys that are resellers out there knows it is, some weeks are just better than others. So far this week, I have a couple of lost packages. Thank you, USPS, for that. And one of the buyers, before they they reached out to me and didn't even give me a chance to do anything about it, and left me a negative feedback. So I got a negative feedback this week. One of the other packages that I had go out is lost. Another package they didn't scan. And although the package shows it's delivered, I got a ding on my account for package not uploaded. I printed out the label, I took it, and somehow it wasn't scanned. And so now my top rated seller that's normally always 100% is 99.6, which is not like the end of the world, but it's not 100. I want it to be 100. And then I had to refund a buyer yesterday on an item that I sent out, and it was a model kit, and it looked all complete because all the bags were sealed, but then it didn't have the decal sheet in it. And the customer reached out and asked me about the decal sheet, and I didn't have it. And just as a courtesy, I refunded their money. They didn't ask. They actually left me a really nice message after that, that the refund was unnecessary. I didn't have to do that. They were just kind of asking a question about the decal sheet, but I think that's good customer service. For me, that's the way I do it. I want all of my buyers to be 100% satisfied. And that's, that's what I did. I don't know. Some others might not do that or wait for the customer, but there is Sal's Mercado. Sal, I've been seeing you talk about you're getting back into the, tape gun game. But I thought I heard you say someplace that you were going to be doing like a tabletop 3-inch wide tape dispenser. I'm interested in that. And I did see Lori, happy picker, come in. Good morning. Good morning. I appreciate it. You stopping by. Man, we're getting really close to that Planes to Profit meetup, which is in just a few weeks away now at this point. And I'm going to, if you guys want to go to a cool meetup, it's in Omaha, Nebraska here in just a couple. Well, I'm on the website right now because I just dropped the link to it. 21 days, 14 hours, and 44 minutes to get your tickets. They just got a lot of cool events, got a lot of cool speakers that are going to be there. Some different folks that you don't see at a lot of the meetups. That sell differently. Some are Amazon sellers, some are clean outs, estate sales and stuff like that, and sell them down different avenues. So I had seen that Lisa said she just moved, so still unpacking and lurking a lot. I've been watching and podcasting. You have a podcast, Lisa? Or you've been watching my podcast, the Reseller Clickbait Podcast. It's right up there. Reseller Clickbait Podcast that I do with Corey from Grams and Pops. And let me catch up on this chat. I got myself behind. Yes, the good old days. Missed that too. My IG is so dead. Hey, Roman and Jill. And there Shanna is here. Good morning, my friends. Good morning, Shanna. Good to see you. Oh, I am full of shenanigans. I like your name. You sound fun. Santa is fun. Yeah, 3 weeks until the meetup. I think around 17 tickets. Only 17 tickets, folks. Plan your trip now. Okay, yes, sir. I have 2- and 3-inch tape dispensers and desktop dispensers. Is there a place that we go to look for those? Do you have a website? Do I just contact you directly? I want to see what you're offering there. I'm thinking about a 3-inch desktop model. Oh, watching and listening to my podcast. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, moving while you're trying to resell would be tough. I moved stuff from out of my house out into my new office that I have in the garage, and that was a pain. And all I had to do was carry it out the back door. I can't imagine moving it someplace. Billsy is here. Billsy Bear Memories. Good morning. Good morning. Good to see you. I am driving to the bin, so I won't type while I drive just in case. Yeah, Roman, we know your history with driving and watching this show. It's probably been about a year now that Roman wrecked his car trying to, well, somebody hit him. In all fairness, he was trying to check into the show and say good morning to everyone, and somebody plowed into his car, and that was an issue and an event. Yes. This, I actually have this. Razilla is saying, don't forget the Two Old Guys Reselling podcast. They need 60 subs to get to 1,000. And I actually had this called up here already to throw a link in there. Is, Caleb, they're doing a 900 subscriber live tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And they have a special guest. I don't know who the special guest is because it's like they just have a silhouette on the screen, but so go check out my friends Caleb. Maybe the special guest is just Chris Old School Picker coming back on the show. after a short hiatus. We don't know. But go check them out. And if you're not subbed to them, go just, it takes a second. Boom. Click on that sub button. Get notifications if you want to see all that content coming up. But definitely, I will be in the chat tonight checking out my friends Caleb and whoever the special guest is on there. Yeah, Lisa says her eBay has been on vacation since December 20th. Man, some days it feels like my eBay's been on vacation and my store's wide open and I've been listing. I've been doing some good sales. Oh, so I should follow up. I need a win here, folks. I need a win on Ken versus Tim. The last 2 or 3, 4 shows, man, my death pile has just been killing me. Last week I sold one item. I did the vintage sportswear. The very same day, like I listed it, and probably 2, 3, 4 hours later, I sold one of the Ohio State Buckeyes pullover. Sold for like $50. I'm like, hey man, this is great. I got all this vintage stuff going, and then crickets. I did send out a few offers. I might have some of that stuff a little high priced. I have a tendency. Tell me what you guys do. I have a tendency to price stuff a little high, taking offers, kind of testing the market, and I'm thinking I might rethink that philosophy a little bit. Not necessarily a race to the bottom, but pretty darn close to move some of this stuff along. But I always feel like I might be leaving money on the table. But I also do have this philosophy of, is it leaving money on the table versus putting food on the table? I do this as my full-time income. This is what sustains me, keeps the lights on, keeps my belly full of stuff like, macaroni and cheese. I'm not going to show that one. Kraft macaroni and cheese. It's the cheesiest. But that's what, so I'm thinking I'm going to start doing stuff maybe a little bit lower, maybe on the lower side of things. Kristen is here. Good morning, Kristen. Rural Squirrel is here. It is always good to see you, my friend. Yeah, Lori, agree. Got to find a happy medium, which a lot of times when I look at my sold comps, I try to be about in the middle of things. Sometimes I'm never the lowest guy. I'm usually never the highest guy. But some of these items, especially when I did those vintage things, and I may feel that they're worth a little bit more than they are, and maybe some of those would have moved along a little bit quicker. I know last week Larry had thrown out a couple of prices. Well, Larry and Chris. Oh, and there is Chris. Morning, Ken, and morning, everyone. That is not Ken. That's right. I've heard that someplace before. And so I don't even know what I was talking about. I was talking about, maybe moving some of this stuff along a little bit cheaper in prices. And speaking of moving along, I need to get moving along with this stuff. Okay, so this right here, this is a camera. This is a Sanyo, like a point and shoot sort of a little digital camera thing. It's a little bit older. I got this from Jill, like forever ago. She had found it, but okay. And so it's the camera, and everything is still brand new. It's a brand new item. Everything is still all in its bags. It has the chargers, all the cords. But she had bought this a long time ago at Walmart, and they had put it in this box. As you can see right here, it says original box was destroyed during attempted theft. Apparently somebody pulled everything out of the package or whatever and was, left the box. And so Walmart just put it in this with all of the things and sold it for like really, really cheap back then. But I've just kind of been sitting on this. I actually found it in a box of stuff. And as I'm doing these electronics, I thought, let me pull that out It is just like a 10 megapixel camera, but still brand new with everything still in the packages. Never been used, got the battery, got a memory card, and about 30 bucks. It should go on comps about 30 bucks for that. So let's get that listed. And Chris wants to know if Jill is going to Planes to Profit. Jill is not. Well, if she is, she's going without me. I am unfortunately not going to be going to the Planes to Profit. However, oh, where's it at? I should hang this up because my FOMO is like up here on the level of not being able to go to that. But I just kind of looked at things after the first of the year. And I hadn't, bought my ticket or plane tickets or reservations and everything. And, Christmas can take a toll on a guy, especially when the credit card bills and stuff start to come due. And this, actually, I think my credit card bill is due up on the 4th, February the 4th. And it's most of the Christmas stuff. And it's just like, nah, I just can't justify that expense. A little bit slower sales there starting in the first quarter. And so I'm not going to be able to make it to the Planes to Profit. But I might participate. Stick around. I've been maybe working some stuff out with Corey. That we might do something. Okay, let's do this. This isn't exactly vintage either, but it's something that I have. This is an Asus. It's an AC2400 4x4 dual band digital. Gigabit router. This gigabit router right here. Really good shape. I was at a yard sale. It was like a community yard sale. Getting towards the end of the day, I'd shop there all day. Come over to this one sale, and the people have like tons of stuff, and the lady is going like, I don't want to take any of this. They were going to be moving after the sale. So everything that was left over, they wanted to get rid of. They had, it was a low price anyway. They had like 15 bucks on that at the time. This was not even this last summer, I think, but this might have been the summer before. That's how long some of this junk's been sitting around here. Not that this junk, it's still a pretty nice router. She's like, just make me a deal, throw out any price. And I said, okay, what do you want to take on this? She says, I'm just taking offers. What do you give me for anything? And I was like, I don't know, I'll give you $1 for it. Just, goofing around, because we had been goofing, and she's like, sold. I'm like, oh, come on, you're not serious. She's like, yep. Just whatever. So I started going around. I made this big, huge pile, and I took home tons of stuff that way, or that day. Joe says, nope, missed a trip to Nashville this fall to go see a friend, and I am planning on a spring to try again. Difficult to take off from clients. One non-perk of having my own practice. Yes, when you are own your own business, that's kind of the same exact thing that we get into as full-time resellers is, you've got to prepare to be off. We do have freedoms that we can go and take time off and, either day, but you got to keep focused. Maybe have a draft bank that you can list stuff while you're gone, or, make preparations for that. Be careful on lowball offers, even if they are okay with it. Especially on video games, you may end up on Heckin' Steve. May end up on Heckin' Steve. I do not know what that is. Should I know what that is? I don't know. But yeah, sometimes I'm not a lowballer. I always try to get a deal. I'm always going to negotiate something. But yeah, when I was just goofing, hey, $1. or whatever. And she said, great. So it's not this day and age, because it is a little bit of an older router. And again, trying to move this along, 25 bucks is what I'm going to put on it. And so that is listed. That is 3 down so far. Oh, what did I do? Can't leave feedback. I pushed the wrong button. What the heck am I doing? Use your head, Ken. Oh, it's a YouTube channel of a guy who hates resellers. I have to check out Heckin' Steve then. That's interesting. Of course, it seems like a lot of other YouTubers hate other resellers. A lot of resellers. He's a guy that roasts resellers. I've actually been expecting he might see my channel soon. Man, you've got some great stuff. Always flexing. Go check out Go Snow and Ms. Cat over there. Yeah, that sounds hilarious. Jill just Googled him. He makes lots of videos about Phoenix resale and Philly flipper. Oh, man. Anytime I can watch somebody bash Paul, I'm all in for that. You know, I can't get it out myself enough to bash my my friend Paul. So he seems so warm and fuzzy. Are you talking about Paul, or are you talking about Heckin' Steve? Razilla says, I made a lowball offer by mistake for a graphics card thinking it was a model under it. I didn't realize it until half an hour I got the go through on the bid. So he's brutal on Paul. So he did one about homeschooling picker. Yeah, so that's cool. Heckin' Steve, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if it's all tongue in cheek or if he really hates resellers, but maybe he'll hate me for listing this Sony SRS-28 speaker system for Walkmans. This is a vintage, like, 90s thing. So I'm in Jill's basement the other day. I'm looking at stuff. We're going through some boxes because apparently, I'm okay with opening up a box and seeing a mouse or whatever. Jill's seen some like little mouse droppings around a box, and she's like, I don't want to open it up and find a dead mouse or a live mouse jump out. So I went down and checked out some of the boxes. But as we were looking around, look at this, still sealed, brand new, vintage SRS-28 Sony Walkman speakers, amplified speakers. And those are going to list. They have a pretty decent sell-through rate, if I remember. About 45 bucks is what I have on those, with the buyer paying shipping. So we'll get those listed. And that's just 4 things. Man, we're halfway through the show, and I've only got 4 things. It sounds pretty genuine on Paul's videos. Okay, so the RX 6600 was a model I wanted, and I got the RX 6600 XT. Pretty sure it's genuine hate. I need to check this guy out. Jill's Basement Bins. Yeah, you should start your own store, Jill. She could. Paul won't say his name, as Kecken is one of those guys who thinks you should pay up at garage sales. Oh, phooey on that. Every garage, I was just talking with Corey about something similar to this the other day, and it's every seller at any garage sale or wherever it is, yard sale, state sales, they have the right to say no. If my offer is too low, they can counter or just, tell me to, kick rocks or jump in a hole or something like that. They don't have to take my offer. Again, I'm not a super low baller. Well, that one that I paid $1 for, but that was a goof. The only bad thing I said about homeschooling Picker was that her voice was so high pitched that it disturbed my cats. Yeah, I love Kayla. I love the homeschooling Picker. She got that southern drawl when she talks for sure, but definitely definitely enjoy watching Kayla. Been watching her since like day one that she started making videos and just shot way to the top. I missed it because my mom called me. Who are we talking about? I do have a guess. A guy named Heckin' Steve. Heckin' Steve apparently I must be behind. Everybody else in the chat knew about this person, that he heckles other resellers. He doesn't like resellers. He roasts them. He thinks apparently that we're all garbage. I don't know. I have to see. Yeah, Jill says, Kim, and I think that was in reference to the pot calling the kettle black about Jill's basement bin. Kim, who's an aspiring reseller. Kim wants to get into doing reseller. She's not currently a reseller, but she's been doing what a lot of us do is in the beginning is just going out and watching content, watching what people are doing, how they are selling stuff, getting into lives. I see her in other lives, asking questions. If she doesn't understand why somebody did some sort of a process. And so she's in that kind of feeling out phase, but she has tons of good inventory and just needs to, pull the trigger and start selling some of it, or just invite me over and I'll, take it off her hands from there. Heckin' Steve, anger management therapy, not volunteering for it. That's funny. Okay, let's do something else. How about these right here? I believe these came from Jill too. Wireless intercoms. A set of 2 of them, because, it's no fun. It's like kind of having a CB radio with nobody to talk to. You got one intercom. You're just pushing the button, pushing that little call button on there, and it's beeping somewhere out in the universe. Nobody's picking up on that. But got 2 of these. Still have the instruction manuals in them. In really good shape. And I'm not sure, Jill, if those are the ones that we used to use at your house from upstairs down to the basement. But about $30 I'm going to list those for. And that is listed as well. So I'm halfway through. Chad, the quirky picker. Hey, Ken, just got here. What did I miss? You missed everything. You missed, I'll wish you a happy Groundhog Day Eve. It is February the 1st, and so tomorrow is Groundhog's Day, and hopefully we're looking for Buckeye Chuck in my area. Some of you might follow Punxsutawney Phil. He's kind of like the nation's official groundhog, but around here we follow Buckeye Chuck in Ohio, and we're hoping that he doesn't see his shadow, so that we only have, rather than 6 more weeks of winter, we only have like a month and a half. So that's what we're looking for. But good to see you, my friend. So anyway, Kim T is here, and Kim T also sent me. We're gonna do my review right now. Cheetos mac and cheese. This is the 4 cheese flavor versus Kraft mac and cheese. Now, I didn't do the whole presentation and stuff about the whole PowerPoint presentation like I did against the Kroger's shells and cheese, because I ate this, and here's a couple points about it. So there's 4 cheeses. 4 cheeses are supposed to be cheddar cheese, Swiss cheese, Monterey Jack, and Parmesan cheese. But I'm not so sure that they weren't using like Limburger cheese and Gouda cheese and head cheese, and I'm not really sure what some goat cheese. I don't know what they were using as. It says it's made with authentic Cheetos cheesiness. I'm shooting this one down right away. Now, it wasn't bad. It had a good flavor. Like when you would first put a spoonful in your mouth, it had some cheesiness to it, but then there was like this little bite afterwards. It's like, I don't really know what that is. And the biggest thing of why I'm definitely going hands down, Kraft mac and cheese, cost wise, they're pretty much the same. Nutrition wise, this has about 10 less grams or whatever of calories in it. 250 or 350 for the Kraft, 340 for the Cheetos mac and cheese. So this is no reflection on my friend Kim. You know, she's like, hey, you should review this one too. So she had got this package and got it to me, and I gave it a fair test. But the one biggest ding that I'm going to give to Cheetos, Perfectly Blessed. Okay. Yeah, that's Mike Go Snow had said earlier that the jalapeno. So maybe I can't dismiss the Cheetos altogether. Maybe I need to get the jalapeno. I think Punxsutawney Phil is only right about 33% of the time. Yeah, I'm not sure what Buckeye Chuck's Kraft all the way. Yeah, definitely. The boxes are tastier. Yeah, sometimes this one, I guess some of the high marks I would give to this one is the box is purple, you know. I can give it that. But the one thing that got me the most of it, and that I thank the Kraft Corporation for. So this is my bowl. This is my favorite bowl. I eat everything out of this bowl. I eat cereal. I eat everything. I have one bowl basically. But look, can you see that? Cheetos. You stained my bowl. Back in 2015, little history for you here. Back in 2015, Kraft macaroni and cheese quit using the dyes that they used to put in it to make it a really bright orange color. Now they use different spices like turmeric and some paprika and things like that to get the color, the orangey color. But they don't use dyes, and it won't stain my bowl. So if you eat out of the Tupperware, I have to eat. If I ever get the Cheetos again, I will eat out of a paper bowl, not my favorite bowl, because, you know, I've cleaned this. This is like completely washed, and it's still stained, and eventually it'll wash out. But who wants to eat a bowl of cereal? You know, who wants to eat, well, the greatest cereal of all time, peanut butter Captain Crunch, of course. That's not it. We're not even going to get into rating cereals. But anyway, so that's my unofficial review. I've been watching, I see my friend Angie Resells. Angie Resells has been doing a lot of product reviews. And she's really doing well for herself with that. Amazon reviews and such. And so maybe I'll start doing that like Angie does. You know, I'll review these products, but maybe just mac and cheese products, because we're not even going to go down the whole cereal route, because we all know, I mean, I think we're all in agreement that Kraft macaroni, that Captain Crunch, peanut butter Captain Crunch, is the greatest cereal ever. So I'm going to replace this in my bowl with the Kraft macaroni cheese, because I don't want to give it any more screen time. I do not want to give it more screen time. Actually, I have a trash can right down below me. There it goes. Goodbye. Oops, all berries. Cheetos stain your hands too. Yes, they do. A little oxy bath will fix it. Jill's been watching too many clothes sellers on Whatnot. She's always like, oh, yeah, look at this. This just needs a little bit of an oxy bath, you know. It's got this nice back hit. And look at, you know, the hit on the sleeve here. Oh, this is on the old, you know, Hanes Beefy tag or something like that. Yeah, I know. Kraft, the Heinz company, needs to get a link to my channel. Velveeta and Oscar Mayer also under their umbrella. That's what I've been trying to get in on, some of that Kraft money, especially over at the podcast. Oh, see, Aaron, you're right up there though. Fruity Pebbles are they're usually a staple in my cereals. I always have peanut butter Captain Crunch. I usually have Lucky Charms are on there, Fruity Pebbles, and then sometimes the Cocoa Pebbles. I like those as well, or Cocoa Puffs if I want a chocolatey sort of cereal. And then I usually like have Cheerios or something like that too. You know, maybe some Honey Nut Cheerios, because you know, at least on the commercials, and that bee flies around and says how they're heart healthy. I don't know. Are they still heart healthy when you dump a half a bag of sugar on top of them? I'm not really sure. I didn't look that part up, but who wants to eat just boring? Chad says that Life cereal is the bomb. He and Rozilla graduated from Crunch Berries to Oops All Berries. I love Crunch Berries. A lot of times I have Crunch Berries. Rice Krispie Treat cereal is the greatest of all time, but they don't make it anymore. I don't think now I love Rice Krispie. Nobody makes, I'll put my mother's Rice Krispie Treats up against anybody's Rice Krispie Treats. She makes, like, for all of the holidays, she usually makes a big pan. She cuts them all down, puts them like in individual bags to make them, you know, easy to just go pick one up and take it. And they're just phenomenal. Best cereals: Reese Puffs, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and Honey Nut Cheerios. Well, you got one out of my three. I like the Honey Nut Cheerios for sure. Dude wipes after Kraft dinners. See, I'm doing right here. I'm trying to work a whole thing. Dude wipes, minty chill flavor right there. Been trying to get them on sponsors on the podcast forever. But yeah, Reese Puffs. You think Reese Puffs are better than peanut butter Captain Crunch? I would do a taste test on that. Yeah, just give the oats back to the horse. Buckeye Chuck newspaper article says out of 40 predictions, only 11 were wrong. So 75% of the time, not bad. Buckeye Chuck, right around the corner from my house. Maybe I'll have to go visit him tomorrow morning. I'll get up and you can, maybe I'll do an IG live. If I get up, I'll do that. I'll go live for sure. Peanut butter cornflake squares are better. I've never had peanut butter cornflake squares. What brand is that? On the peanut butter. Way better than Captain Crunch anything. Wait. Need dude wipes for Taco Bell. What did I miss? Oh. Perhaps, yeah. Dude wipes would be on board if I quit saying flavor. But they are the minty chill flavor. I tested them. Before I used it, for sure. Now I'm going to have to make some mac and cheese. See, there you go. The Kraft Corp, there's one. I've got one on board right there. It's going to buy their product and make it. Oh yeah, use Captain Crunch in the fried chicken recipe. Good call. I've seen that as well. Homemade instead of Rice Krispie treats. Peanut butter cornflake squares. Oh, okay. I see. Peanut butter cornflake squares like a Rice Krispie treat, but only with, oh, interesting. Yeah, we've tried to make some different kind of ones with Fruity Pebbles and other things that are like the Rice Krispie treats. We've experimented. Yeah, Captain Crunch is good, but it tears my mouth up for a week. Oh, it's worth the pain, Kim. It's worth the pain. Captain, in my opinion, knows how to do it. Yeah, always say flavor when talking about wax melts instead of scent. I don't eat wax melts. I saw one of Chris's new wet saws, man. He kills it on those little wax melts he gets for like super cheap and sells them, all the time. I should get into the wax melt racket. That's what I should, rather than vintage sportswear. I think Chris made more on wax melts last week than all the vintage sportswear that I have. Grape nuts, like eating yummy gravel. Tricks cereal rips the top of my mouth. Well, Chad, tricks are for kids. I've heard that someplace. I'm not sure exactly. Might have been a marketing ploy, but tricks are for kids. Yeah, Chris kills it on everything. He does. He's on every platform. He's just doing it. Let's list something out. Oh, here's a cool item. This is a true vintage item. Now, this one I pulled out of the box. This is a vintage. The brand is Sublime. Now, I couldn't find that brand anywhere. But these are new old stock from Japan. And so the cases, they're all still in the boxes. The cases are perfect, in perfect shape on these. The vintage 8-track stuff, I've been seeing that sell a lot in different players and stuff. Now, I was at a yard sale, and the guy had a bunch of vintage electronics, and I had bought a number of other things, and I kept seeing these boxes. They're in boxes just like this, and they had written 8-track on the top. And eventually, it's like, let me open one of these up. Still have the original operating instructions, the RCA cords. The stuff's wrapped up and in styrofoam and stuff in these boxes. And he had 3 of them. So he only wanted like $10 a piece for them. So I made him a deal. If I bought all 3 of them, I got them for $8 a piece. So $24 total. I have 3 of them that are all in this kind of new condition. I'm going to list this kind of multi-quantity. I'm just going to list 2 of them right now, see how they go, because one of them didn't have the instruction manual. And so I don't want to list that together with that as far as having the instruction being complete. 2019, he had those wax melts. You owned one of those, one of these right here, a Sublime made in Japan 8-track tape player. That's pretty cool. You want another one? I have 3 of them. You could go to my store, which is linked down below in my link tree. But I'm going to put $90, $89.99. That is kind of middle of the road of where I've seen some of these types of players, because I can't find the Sublime one. A lot of these players go for over $100 now. And some of them are, just down in that $50, $60 range, $70 range. But this being new old stock, I listed them as that they were new old stock and untested, with the manuals and the cords and stuff. And they are kind of heavy. That's like total with the packaging going to be about 8 pounds. Buyer paying the shipping on that. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to list 2 of those right now. Let me see what we're seeing. I think I may have a Zenith radio still from back in the 60s. Oh, you've sold one for 200 or 300 before. Different brand. They sell really well. Yeah, Kim's going to make me cry with all this stuff that she keeps me. It's like Jill's basement. Kim's house is like Jill's basement. Apparently, ran it for 6 years until the cassettes went out of style. So tell me, Chad, I know you do. Yeah, let's see what you're saying here. I have a Lafayette 8-track that looks similar. I sold in 8-track and it was for 150 once. So, Chad, Raz, Chris, should I be listing this for more than $89.99? I was just, because I couldn't find this exact model and based on some of the other stuff, weigh in on that. I appreciate that. I can, maybe gain a little bit of info here, because I did see a number of different 8-track units that were going for over $100, and some of those, way up there towards 200, but they were name brand ones. But a lot of them were used. These are brand new old stock. So before I push this button to list this thing, let me know what you think. I'm just going to click save for later right now. I'll list something else. Oh, this isn't vintage. I can do this real quick. I picked up this charger at Jill's uncle's house when we did a clean out sort of thing. It's a Craftsman lithium ion 60 V60. And just the charger itself sells pretty good and pretty regular. It had a decent sell-through rate. About $30. I think I will get out of that. So boom, that's listed. Let's see what we're saying right here. Since yours is untested, I'm not sure you will. Do you have a way to test it? Yeah, I could test them. I could. My dad has a receiver next door that I could hook it up to and test it. And I thought about that, and that's why I listed Chad. I might start it at 150. See, yeah, that's the thing. I can always come down on stuff, but it kind of, with my whole philosophy of, am I listing stuff too high and it's sitting, or, man, I just don't know. The belts might be deteriorated. Yeah, because the last thing I want to do is sell something for, well, even $90 or, 150 especially, and then have to turn around and give that money back and suffer, possible negative feedback or whatever. Wow. I don't know. Let's do this item right back here. KitchenAid mixer. I got this from a friend of mine. They were doing, before an estate sale, I got to go pick his unfortunately, his mother had passed away, and his father was going to like a rest home or whatever. And they were going to have an estate company come in and go through the house, but he let me come and pick the house first. And, I took home a couple of truckloads of stuff. And one of the things was this KitchenAid blender right here. It is the KSB 560 model in the cool Empire red color. Really cool. It looks like they had used it like maybe once. Still has the instruction manual. Everything is there. This was one I was thinking about parting out, because you can sell just the cup or the whatever, the blender part, for pretty good money, and they sell pretty regularly. But I'm going to put $80 on that. $79.99. Again, a heavy item, buyer paying shipping, and I'm going to list that. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do about those tape decks though. I'm going to hold off till the last thing and do something. Here's a cool, fun little item. This little 5.5-inch little green TV, black and white, KB Toy Club. KB Toys, apparently, at one time, made these little TVs. I did see some other versions, like in a black and a white, but this is a pretty cool green color, and it did have the power cord. Some of these I've seen online don't have the power cord. They do run on batteries as well. Battery compartment is super clean. I don't think they ever put batteries in it. But who wants to come up with 10 C-size batteries? 10 C-size batteries to run this little mug. It has an AM/FM radio in it. Everything is working. Of course, even with the antenna up, and I tried some different stuff, I couldn't get a TV station in on it. I could maybe get a little bit of fuzz, but there's probably not a broadcasting tower close enough for me to pick anything up. But I paid $2 for this at a yard sale, actually just right around the corner from me, and I am going to list that at $50, $49.99. List it. Boom. Done. KB Toy, which is pretty cool. KB Toy Club. I thought that was cool. Chad has 10 C-size batteries. Of course you do. I imagine you have every size battery with all the vintage electronics and stuff that you get and have to test. And tune in Superhost. Yeah, Superhost. That was like a Saturday afternoon WUAB 43. He was like, he would do like play old B movies and stuff, you know, and in between the breaks, he'd be goofy and do little skits. And just a local guy in the Cleveland area. Roman, I'm not sure if you were around. Do you remember Superhost from back in the day? One more thing here before I do this. Any of you guys that are computer guys from way back probably remember these things right here. The iOmega zip drive. This is the Zip 100 P2 or something like that. But I picked this up again at Jill's uncle's house. Yeah, it does. Oh, that's right. Roman is driving. Roman's probably watched Superhost and concentrating, but he's now probably at the bins already. That's right. That's right. Roman's at the bins, guys. Yeah, those were, they could be a royal pain in the Rumpelstiltskin for sure. But they have a great sell-through rate. So I've got the unit right there, the zip drive unit, with the original install disc. Now this is the parallel model. They did make some newer ones that were USB. The install disc, the tools disc. So for those of you who don't know what this is, it was kind of like a storage system back in the day before you had like external drives. It was an external drive that would save, you know, like 100 megs or whatever. That's why they called it like a Zip 100. But they worked on this kind of a disc, like a big heavy plastic disc, much bigger and thicker and heavier than like a little 3.5 floppy or something like that. I do have the original zip parallel cable that goes with it, and the power supply. I see a number of these listed that don't have the power supply, don't have the cords. And then there was a case for storing the disc. Now, all of the discs that came with this had been writing on them. And so I'm just selling the blank the blank cases with it. So people, if they have zip drives or whatever, they can put them in there. Plus, I just didn't want to throw them away. Might as well put them in the bundle with everything. So that's pretty much a complete, everything is working with it. You know, all the lights come on, the discs eject, that sort of stuff. And again, really good sell-through rate on some of this stuff, this older computer things. $60, $59.99 I am putting on that, being complete with everything. So let's see. I had a couple of those drives, Ping did. I had a couple of those zip drives in original boxes that I never got around to listing. If you still have them around, Ping, they seem to have a pretty good sell-through rate. No, not for a Commodore 64. It is for a regular PC. I don't know if you could... Commodore 64, that's where I started. I started with a Commodore 64 in computers way back in the day. A 300 baud modem that you had to hook the phone line to, and it took up, the phone line for how many ever hours I was on every night on the old bulletin board systems. And then AOL came around and started kind of revolutionize that thing. It was kind of true like internet with AOL before, but they were kind of within their own platform before you could start to go out to the internet. But I've been doing stuff since, Commodore 64 days. Average listed price on 8-track players is $81.36 and average sale price is $59. I think 90 is a good start. I would test if you have an 8-track tape. If you need a new tape, I can send you what. My dad has plenty of, my dad's a big record collector, tapes, 8-tracks. 100 and 250 megabyte compared to the 1.44 megabyte. Yeah. Yes. They were just bigger. That's good info, Larry. That is good info. I might rethink it before I list them of trying to test them. Then Chad says, after some digging, I might list the 8-track untested for $129 plus 15 or so for shipping and drop it down to 100 after 30 days and then down to 75, then down to 50 after 90. Yes, the old Vic 20 days. I saved up. I had to save my money and save to get my Commodore 64 with the, what was it, the 1540 floppy drive that you could get, Commodore, I think it was 1540. Not sure where those zip drives went. I closed down the warehouse and brought everything with into our garage, bedrooms, dining, living room. Yeah, I know how that goes, Ping. Stuff is everywhere when you're a reseller without a lot of space to do things. I imagine a 25 CD install for a Linux system if you had to make sure you got the right system. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I should think about that because I don't want these things to come back, but I also don't want to have to pull them all out, take them all out of that packaging, test them, but that could mean a difference of a bunch of money. But the average, I'm clicking on the wrong things. The average selling price that Larry is saying that he's seeing is around $60. The listed price is $81.36 on average. Okay. Yeah, I might hold it. Maybe we're going to do Ken versus 9 today. I think, didn't I do that last week? Oh, I did. It really was 10 versus 10 because right after the show, I did list that other jacket that I forgot, and I had showed it on the show. Yeah, maybe I need to think about this a little bit and list those. List those. All that stuff is Greek to me. Yeah, computer nerd stuff. Man, I got tons of other electronics out there that I can list. Trying to keep up with this theme this week as I'm in that kind of testing mode. I have lots of camcorders, some DVD VCR combos. I have the little VCR TV combos. I have about 3 of those. Just a number of different vintage electronics I can list. Because, yeah, if I can avoid a return, list at the price you're happy with. 10 times your money is $80. Yeah. What has me more scared, it's not necessarily, I guess, the pricing, is more the untestedness. Is that a word? Untestedness of it. I would hate to send it out. Because even though it says untested, the buyer's going to get it and go, oh, this doesn't work. It's like, well, yeah, that's why I put untested in there. I want my money back. Jump in a hole. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. I'm Mr. Customer Service. I gave a refund yesterday, to a buyer that didn't even ask for one, just because I'm that guy. Okay. SUSE 4.2 was my breakthrough system as a builder. Okay. So I can test one. Maybe I'll test this one that I have out of the box already. Good call, Chris. I like that. Yeah, this one's out of the box. I just grabbed some RCA cables, hook it up to that receiver. Jill and I have been talking a lot because she watches the resellers and stuff like that. And a lot of times she feels that the resellers are harsh on buyers or talk poorly about the buyers when they are really the lifeblood of all of our businesses. And some of it is venting about situations. More so, I could say, 99.9%, 999, throw a couple more nines in there, of my buyers are great. Well, even the buyer that I refunded, super great customer, super understanding of stuff. And then contrastly, you get the one where the package is lost. I shipped it out. One day shipping. I shipped it out when I was supposed to ship it out. It made it from here down to Columbus. It made it from Columbus to Illinois the next day. I'm not sure why it went to Illinois, because the package was actually going to Indiana. So it shot right by Indiana. And it's just gone. It's since the 18th. Well, I shipped it on January 17th. January the 18th is when it made it to all the way to Illinois. They should have had it probably on the 19th. And here we are, February 1st. Package is not there. I have missing package out there. But I thought that it was a little unfair of the buyer to go ahead and just give me a negative feedback when they have been looking at the tracking too. They can see it's not my fault. And I am helping the best that I can. I told them, rest assured, if this package is lost, I will take care of you. I will take it up with the post office or whatever needs to be done at that point. And it'll be my loss, but I will make it right. Yeah. For those of you that don't know that, Raz, I forget your actual name. I know I've seen it in the RAN chats a lot, but Raz used to be a movie reviewer. And I imagine, yeah, you probably gave them some real junk, but there was a lot of them that were real good. Of course, people, the more negative stuff, unfortunately, people like to hear. But Jill and I have been talking about that quite a bit lately because she buys a lot of stuff on eBay. She buys a lot of stuff on Whatnot. And some of the sellers that she have are just like stellar. I mean, combining shipping when she didn't even know that she was buying multiple items from the same buyer. She just was looking at different listings and, buy this. And she gets a box, combined shipping, and this seller. And so in turn, she has gone back to this seller and bought several items from him. The same with Whatnot. And then you start to see, we were talking about, shipping and things like that. Some people just pitch stuff in a box, whether it's, the right size box or the right size bag, or they're putting an item that shouldn't be in a bag and shipping it to her. She gets all kinds of different packages. So we've been talking about that lately. And I think it might be a topic that we're going to discuss here on the Reseller Clickbait podcast coming up. What's the worst? There's a good question. What's the worst movie you ever reviewed, Rosella? What was the one that you just gave absolutely 0 stars to, 0 thumbs up or 2 thumbs down, or whatever your rating system, maybe you're on the 5 candy cane system like I give to the Hallmark Christmas movies. My brother and I will rank those, hey, that one gets, 4 candy canes. That's a good one. Jill's already jumping in and saying Napoleon Dynamite was the worst movie ever to review or not to review. So that's but yeah, a lot of interesting stuff there with what the sellers on YouTube and the different platforms, especially when you're in all the Facebook groups, a lot of sellers bash buyers. Again, I can see, being a seller myself, some of it is just venting. And if I went out there every day and said, "Hey, all of my customers are great," people wouldn't want to hear that. Hey, thanks, Keith. Great stuff today, Ken. Listening in while packing and shipping, so not able to hop in the chat. Well, I appreciate you listening in the background. And Lisa Durr's popping in right here. Happy Groundhog Day Eve to both of you. If you are just getting here. Keith loves the Napoleon Dynamite. So we're no longer friends. Keith, I appreciate your stuff. I appreciate your stuff. However, what is the kid's name? Hater or what? I was watching Blades of Glory with Will Ferrell and that, what is his name? Hater something, I think, that was in Napoleon Dynamite. I think that's the same kid. But Blades of Glory was a great movie. Birdemic has to be the very worst movie ever. Never heard of that. Every one of them, LOL. Seriously, it's a tie between Don't Stop the Music and Showgirls that were the worst ones he ever reviewed. Don't Stop the Music and Showgirls. Speaking of Hallmark Christmas movies, I considered their DVDs as a bolo. I've sold several of them for decent money in the last month. Yes. I never really thought about that. Actually, I've never seen any of the Hallmark movies out on DVD. I mean, I know my folks have some and my brother has some, but I've never really looked for them in the wild. But great tip, Chad. Look for those Hallmark. Yeah, there we go. John Heder is a kid. And Chad watched it last week with the son and enjoyed it. Yeah, John Heder. He was the same kid that was in Blades of Glory, right, with Will Ferrell, and that was just a goofy movie. Like I say, I was watching that yesterday. Was fun. Lisa, are you going to come down to Marion and go see Buckeye Chuck? See if he sees his shadow tomorrow morning. Wait, there's a movie about the Village People. Who said the Village People? I suggested in writing that Mel Brooks should have taken over the remake of The Exorcist 2, The Heretic. Repossessed was a better movie. Oh, Jill's crush, her like star crush, you know, her hall pass was always Mel Brooks. Oh yes, that's right. Jenna Fisher from The Office was in Blades of Glory. I was trying to remember where I had seen that gal, and that's right. She was Van Waldenberg, Katie Van Waldenberg in that movie. Can't Stop the Music was it. I'm Googling the movies that he mentioned. Oh, okay. Can't Stop the Music was about the Village People. That was one of my things I got to do. The Village People here, several years back, had came to our town. We have the Popcorn Festival, the Marion Popcorn Festival here in town. And they have entertainment all weekend. And the Village People were here. And so I actually got to, you know, stand out on my city street, the local popcorn festival, and do the YMCA with the actual Village People. And that's bucket list stuff right there, right? Am I right? Bucket list, doing the YMCA. Got to go to Findlay tomorrow. I did get to stop in the Binge yesterday for the first time through Marion. My husband had a doctor's appointment in Columbus, so we stopped on our way back home. Very cool. Man, next time you're in the area, hit me up on IG. I'll come over and we'll get an opportunity to say hey and shake a hand and meet in person. That's cool. Jill's a big fan of the Mel Brooks. Yes, for sure. Well, I'll tell you what, folks, I'm just babbling. I'm going to maybe test one of these 8-tracks, see what happens, determine a price. I appreciate it. Larry, Chris, Chad, everybody that was weighing in on that. You gave me some food for thought. I could have either undersold myself here. I could have oversold myself. So I need to look into that a little bit closer of what I'm going to do. But I have some stuff to pack and get out for shipping today and run a few errands. So I appreciate everyone coming, watching, sticking around. Hopefully, you know, some of you got some work done in the background, packing and shipping. I seen Keith was doing, and I just appreciate it. And we will. Okay, let me see. Did I check Terapeak or Worth Point for the 8-track? I can't really find any reference to it anywhere. I did check Terapeak for that brand and that model number, and I can't find it anywhere in Google searches. Usually, if you do a Google search on something like that, it'll come up with you know, that it was on Worth Point if you're doing a brand and a model, and nothing came up at all. So yeah, I'm gonna investigate a little bit further. I think before I just pull the trigger on those. More not so to make the proper money, but to not kind of have a return because I didn't do my due diligence in the testing phase. I just figured them being in the boxes, brand new, never used, it would be okay. But I can't see the points that you guys made. A video is on Rezilla's Realm that shows the start of his writing career. Everybody could check out Rezilla's Realm. And and see those videos that he put out about that. Yeah, Lisa, glad I got to catch you for a minute. Just got finished in the school and saw that you were on your live chat. Cool, I appreciate it. Like I say, next time you're through town, if your husband has to go back down to Columbus or whatever, and you're going to hit the bins, what did you think of the bins? I'll take a second. What did you think of the bins? Did you pick up anything cool while you were over there? Oh, Chad says there is one on Worth Point. I don't have Worth Point. Can you enlighten me, Chad, perhaps? As to what it, or I don't know, you might not have Worth Point. You might have Worth Point. I'm not sure. Maybe you can let me. Drinkenstein. Drinkenstein, is that the name of your channel? Yes. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's check out Chad. Sorry, I didn't renew my subscription. Okay, I have a couple of folks that I can reach out to about Worth Point. I will go there and do a search. I don't have a subscription to that either, but Drinkenstein is the video tribute. Cool, very cool. Yeah, this was a fun show, very enlightening. We got to, I know I need to check this stuff out. Hopefully you guys found some value in my review of the Cheetos 4 cheese mac and cheese. What I learned about this is I'm not getting this again, but more than one reference in the chat to the jalapeno flavor. So I might give that a peek. Chris has Worth Point. Chris, maybe I'll send you over the model number and stuff if you don't mind, and we'll see if we was yeah, what was it? Let me do something here. Let me see if I can put that right in the chat. I appreciate everybody offering. This is. It's a Sublime 8-track tape player deck, or I think on the back it says 8-track tape deck, but that's the model. S1D823 is what that is. Yeah, maybe if it's there, I can get an idea and then put something, go hook this up and test it out. Isn't the exact model. That isn't the exact model I saw on Worth Point. Okay, so Mark found a couple pair of Ariat boots and some nice Skechers. My favorite find was a Taco Bell fanny pack and some like Easter decorations. A box of unopened VHS tapes. It was all worth it. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I haven't been over to the bins because I've been trying to list this death pile of stuff. But I think I decided that here in February I was going to start hitting them pretty regularly. So I think I'm probably going to do that. I'm going to work pretty hard through this weekend to kind of try to knock down some more of this pile, and then starting next week. Maybe even do a daily thing, make it part of my daily routine to go over and check it out. Because what I end up doing is just spending. Every time I go over there, it's 20, 30, 40 bucks and stuff. Now, I get a lot of good inventory, but if you're not listing that inventory right away, it's just money out of your pocket. So I have been very good, though, at the stuff when I do go to the bins of bringing it home, going through it and get it listed. And actually, two of the items that I have shipping out today were from my last bins, run. One was a yarn ball winder that sold for like 35 bucks, and a golf club, a practice swing golf club that sold for 46 bucks, 45.99. So yeah, I'm always finding good stuff over there. So that's cool. That's yeah, that's the one thing. The people buying as well as the employees were kind and definitely not overcrowded. Yes, for sure. That's one thing that's been great so far. It's still kind of a little bit of a, I don't even know if you would say it's a secret, but not going over there every day. I don't know how the crowds are all the time, but every time I've been there, it's been very, very low key. Oh yeah, a couple of great Ohio State vintage teas all over. Sweet. Not coming up for you. Okay, I appreciate it. Same for me, Keith. Okay. More of an expert in classical music or recordings. Well, fellas, Keith, Chris, I appreciate you taking a peek for that. Going to do a little bit of testing. If I guess now at this point, it's all about that. If I do that test and I got one of them work, I will feel confident about the others and maybe list them a little higher. Chad had thrown out some suggestions on the pricing as far as untested. Larry, with those average sale prices, are really good to see. I don't know. I'll think about it. And while I pack up my stuff and get ready to take it to the post office. So everybody, thank you for sticking around. Man, we're hour and a half into this. Still the crowd's looking pretty good. Definitely, again, I'm going to throw out there one more time. If you're not busy tonight, go check out my friend Caleb, Two Old Guys Reselling Podcast. He's having a live show, 900 subscriber live celebration tonight. They're very close to 1,000 subs. And he has a special guest. That's why I said Caleb, Two Old Guys. He has a special guest. We don't know who it is. But go check them out. Appreciate it. And if you're not subbed to them, click that sub button and help them get to that 1,000, even though they're going to beat the Reseller Clickbait podcast really quickly to that 1,000. I love those guys over there and want to support them. And oh yeah, Lisette is there's a big raid train that I think Angie Resells was part of, Paul Philly Flipper, Lisette. There's a number of people that were in some sort of a raid train today. Yeah, and Caleb has new videos up over on his channel. So anyway, now I'm just rambling. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you all coming. We will see you next week. Happy Groundhog's Day. Hopefully it's cloudy and we'll only have a month and a half of winter left rather than 6 more weeks. See you later.